The air inside the MGM Grand was electric on that September night in Las Vegas. It was Mexican Independence Day weekend, and the city was alive with passion, pride, and anticipation. Green, white, and red flags waved furiously in the stands as chants of Mexico shook the rafters, only to be drowned out by waves of USA, USA from Mayweather's loyal supporters. This wasn't just a fight. It was a collision of eras, of styles, of identities. In one corner stood Saul Canelo Alvarez, a 23-year-old prodigy, unbeaten and already a world champion, carrying the weight of his country on his shoulders. His youth, his power, and his hunger made him the great hope to topple the untouchable king. And in the other corner, draped in confidence and experience, stood Floyd "Money" Mayweather. At 36, he was already a legend, 8-time world champion across 5 divisions, the pound-for-pound monarch, the richest star in the sport. Mayweather promised every challenger the same fate, a painful lesson, and tonight he was determined to give another. The crowd thundered as the introductions ended. The referee issued final instructions, and the bell rang to begin 12 rounds of what would be a masterclass in the sweet science. From the opening moments, the contrast was clear. Canelo, strong and determined, came forward with power and intent, but Mayweather, calm as still water, controlled the pace with his jab. Every flick of Floyd's left hand was a statement, snapping Canelo's head back or disrupting his rhythm before it began. By the second round, Mayweather had found his distance, stepping in with a lead right hand, pivoting away before Alvarez could retaliate. Canelo hunted the body, launching hooks toward the ribs, but the shoulder roll and subtle shifts of Mayweather's frame absorbed the impact. Whenever the Mexican challenger closed the gap, Floyd smothered him, tying him up or pushing him off balance. The young lion was eager, aggressive, and yet every surge was neutralized by timing, accuracy, and veteran craft. The MGM Grand echoed with dueling cheers as Canelo landed a combination in the third, but Mayweather answered instantly with a crisp counter left. Every exchange seemed to favor the older man, whose poise turned danger into opportunity. Already, the crowd could feel it. Canelo's youth and strength were meeting something he had never experienced, a genius of defense. The middle rounds brought no relief for the challenger. By round 5, Floyd had transformed the ring into his personal stage. He smiled as Canelo's punches sailed past or thudded against his shoulders. He pivoted off the ropes, landing sharp counters that sliced through Alvarez's guard. His jab set the table. His straight right hand punished any mistake. Every sequence unfolded like a lesson, a feint, a miss, and a perfectly timed answer. Canelo kept pressing forward, hoping to impose his size, leaning on Floyd in the clinches, trying to sap the legs of the older man. But Floyd was ready for every trick. He tied Canelo up, subtly pressing a glove over his mouth, forcing him to waste energy and air. The swelling under Canelo's eye grew more visible as the rounds wore on, evidence of Floyd's precision. The young warrior showed flashes of brilliance, landing a hard left hook here, a stiff jab there, but nothing sustained. Each success was fleeting, erased by Mayweather's sharper, faster hands. The crowd watched as frustration crept into Alvarez's face. His punches were being read, his rhythm broken, his youth humbled by mastery. For the first time in his career, the undefeated Mexican looked unsure of what to do. As the fight entered the late rounds, the narrative had solidified. Canelo's power, his combinations, and his determination were undeniable, but Mayweather was in complete command. Round after round, the American's hand speed and timing stole the show. Floyd made Canelo miss big, slipping hooks by inches, then answering with lightning counters. At times, Canelo pressed Floyd against the ropes, unleashing furious combinations, but the crowd gasped as Mayweather rolled with every shot, emerging untouched before snapping back with his own offense. The tension in the arena shifted from hope of an upset to awe at a masterclass unfolding before their eyes. Mayweather's dominance wasn't built on power, but on precision. His jab continued to land. His straight right split the guard. His defense was impenetrable. Canelo, still only 23, never stopped fighting, but he could not break through. Every attempt to trap Floyd ended in frustration. Every adjustment met with another layer of genius. By round 10, even Alvarez's corner showed concern, urging urgency. But Floyd's brilliance had taken the fight out of reach. The young lion was chasing shadows, learning painfully that experience, skill, and timing could humble even the strongest punch. The 12th and final round began with pride on the line. Canelo pressed forward one last time, still hoping to land the shot that could change everything. But Mayweather, confident and composed, closed the show as only he could. He danced, jabbed, and countered, controlling the last 3 minutes with grace and ease. The bell rang, and the crowd rose to their feet. They knew they had witnessed something special, another chapter in the legend of Floyd Mayweather. The scorecards were announced. One judge, incredibly, called it a draw at 114-114, igniting shock and laughter throughout the arena. But the other two saw the fight as it truly was, wide in favor of Mayweather. Floyd "Money" Mayweather remained undefeated, the unified champion, a king of the sport. For Canelo, it was the first loss of his career, a painful lesson handed down by the greatest fighter of his era. Yet, for the young Mexican, this was not the end. It was the beginning of a journey that would forge him into a future legend. For Mayweather, it was another night of perfection, another reminder that genius in the ring is not about power or speed alone, but about control, precision, and mastery.